Welcome to practice of reflective meditation. This practice, as its name says, is for us to reflect on a specific scene that has happened to us. You know that sometimes we repeat and repeat the same issues, but we don't know why things happen and happen again. That's because we haven't taken our time to see what are those little details that they just make us act in a certain way. And then we have the worst thing, which is guilt. Okay, and then we're with that guilt. Why did I do that? I'm never going to change. Why am I this way? So, with this meditation, what it's going to do is that we're going to go back to that scene, and in that scene, we're going to start seeing those details that make us be that way in order for us to start knowing ourselves. And then we start knowing and getting to know those little steps of those ways of being. That first I get, for example, I start getting desperate, right? And then my hands start shaking, but then I start turning red, and then that's it, I start screaming. But what's behind all of that? The different thoughts that I have. Okay, what thoughts came first? Okay, maybe let's talk about jealousy, for example. Okay, that's the first thought that maybe was there, is that, oh, the person has somebody else. So that's when I start getting like, oh my God. And then I want to check that phone. And then I just need to see who it is, right? So that's it. I'm almost there, and I I just don't even get to check when I'm already screaming, I know you have somebody else. So I have to start going inside me to know myself, right? Because nobody has the answer for what's going on inside myself. Even if I go to a psychologist, he's going to start asking me some questions, but he doesn't know exactly the pattern. How do I feel? I'm the one who has to be my own psychologist to understand my own self. If I understand my own self, then I'm going to be able to 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 be the real me, that person that I really am. Okay, that's the objectives of this, to be the real me, not to be somebody else or follow somebody else, but know that this is the way I react, and I'm going to change those reactions, but consciously, because I'm seeing how it manifests. I'm seeing the things it makes me do. I'm seeing that definitely, even if you haven't noticed, this is a way of craziness, okay? Because there isn't somebody else. Everything is in my mind. So that's what I have to understand, is that I'm mentally sick, okay? And I'm the only one who's going to have the medicine for that, okay? So that's the objective of this practice. The more we do it, the more I'm going to learn about myself, okay? So here I'm just putting this in my profile, my personal profile, and then we're ready to start. Okay, so having already this understood what this is about, let's see which are the steps. Okay, so the steps for this reflection is that we're going to ask our inner father, inner mother, our own being, to assist us during this practice. Okay, then we're going to make a short relaxation. Why is it short? Because we just want to untension the body, okay, to leave the stress out and be able to be in a comfortable place with myself, so I could go back to this scene. Okay, then we're going to rebuild that scene. So we're going to start thinking right now, what specific scene would I like to go back to? Okay, it's easier if we think about something where we have guilt inside, and we'd like Man, if I could only go back in time, or I shouldn't have. So if we go back to that scene, when we're in that scene mentally, we're going to say that mantra, Raum, Gaum. We're going to say it out loud 3 times. Then you're going to say it another 3 times mentally. That's for us to remember better that specific scene, okay? When we're already there in that scene, we're going to judge ourselves, okay? The way I behave. I am not going to identify myself with the scene, with that moment. No, okay? I'm not going to get sad. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to get happy. Ha, I remember that. No, we're not, okay? We're going to judge ourselves, okay? The wrong things that we did. We're going to see the patterns of the feelings. Don't worry about it. I'm going to be guiding you through different questions for you to go deeper and deeper into that moment and make your own reflections through those questions. Okay, so let's start, you guys. So we're going to sit in a comfortable place. Then we're going to close our eyes, concentrating our heart, and we're going to ask and plead our Divine Mother and our Divine Father be with us during this practice to assist us. And now we're going to make a short relaxation. So we're going to start by putting our attention on our feet. We're going to feel our 5 toes, but we're not going to move them. We're just going to be conscious of every part of our body. So we feel those 5 toes of the right foot. Feel the sole, the ankle. We keep going up, the lower part of the leg, the knee, the thigh. Now, let's go to our left foot and let's feel our 5 left toes, the sole, the ankle. We keep going up, the lower part of our leg, our knee, our thigh, our buttocks. Now, let's feel our fingers. So we set our attention on our right hand. We feel our 5 fingers, the palm, the wrist, the whole arm. Now let's go to the left hand. Let's feel our 5 fingers, the palm, the wrist, the whole left arm, now let's set our attention on our trunk and make yourself conscious of your sexual glands, your stomach, your chest, and your back, the whole back. The shoulders, the neck, face, mouth, nose, eyes, cheeks, ears, forehead, the scalp. And now we're going to order the physical body to relax and let go. Physical body, relax and let go. Mind, relax. Now we're going to take 3 deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now we're going to go back to that scene that we want to remember. Let's start by remembering, where are we? Where did that happen? What's the place? What year was it? What people were there? The weather, was it cold? Was it hot? Was it raining? How were you feeling at the beginning? At the beginning of the scene? Right before everything happened, how were you feeling? Now we're going to concentrate on our heart and being there. We're going to say the mantra 3 times in order for us to be able to remember more. Okay, so start with me. And you're going to repeat it 3 more times mentally. Now, without identifying yourself with the scene, that means without getting upset, not letting any feelings come in, just like if we were watching, like if we were at the theater, okay? So we're there and that's what we're going to see. We're going to see the show without identifying ourselves, okay? And let's analyze what defects, what ways of being were the ones that showed the more, okay? Was it anger? Was it lust? Was it laziness? Was it jealousy, greed, envy? Try to identify which were the strongest ones. What did it make you feel? It made you feel nervous, sad, wanting to cry, wanting to scream, wanting to just run away. Where did you feel that feeling? Was it like a pressure on your chest? Or did you feel it on your stomach? Or was it like in your throat, like if you wanted to say something, but it was like something was there and just didn't let you say it? What thoughts did that feeling bring you? Those emotions have like voices. So what thoughts did it bring you? Like it wanted you to do or to think. Like for example, everybody's laughing at you. Or you gotta give them a lesson. You can't let this happen again. What thoughts did that emotion bring you? Now, let's see the action part. What did it make you do? It made you scream. It made you cry. It made you tell the person how much you hate them. It made you turn red. What words did it make you say? What gestures did it make you do? What omissions were there? Was there a conscious moment where you thought, I better just be quiet, but at the end you couldn't? Or I had to tell them the truth, but at the end you just rather be quiet? Were there omissions? And if there were, which were they and why? Was it the right thing to do? Here that we're in the part where we're analyzing the actions. Whatever actions that you did in that moment, do you consider they were right? And why? Were they conscious actions? Now we're going to go back into our heart and we're going to ask and plead our Divine Mother to eliminate all those wrong ways of being that you found until now. Okay? For example, anger, unfaithfulness, misjudgment, afraid, all of those ways that are not correct, all of those thoughts. We're going to ask our Divine Mother to eliminate them right now. Now let's think. What kind of external problems does this defect cause? For example, thanks for the way of being in that time, people don't trust me anymore. Some people stop talking to us. They don't want to listen. What did you lose due to your wrong ways of being? Maybe you lost a friend, a couple, a job, or your opportunity. What did you lose? Is it fair to keep losing these things just because you can't control it? Why can't you control it? That's something that we're going to go deep in right now, okay? And start thinking. Why can't I control it? What's behind that? What is that wrong way of being scared of? Is it useful? That behavior, does it have any sense? Is it useful? What would happen if you stop being that way? Why do you consider that you have to be that way? Of course, you can live without that defect. So, what is that defect scared of? What does it make you think that everything will be worse if it's not there? Is that a real answer? Is that answer from the consciousness? Would that answer, would it be given to you by your own spirit? Or is it the ego manifesting? Would an angel act this way? Is it part of light? Or does it bring in more darkness? So it's definitely not part of me, of the real me. So that defect must be eliminated as well. So concentrating your heart next your Divine Mother to eliminate that defect too. To eliminate it again. Now let's think. What inner damages did it cause you? For example, diseases. What diseases has it brought you? Or what diseases did it bring in that moment? For example, it gave you a terrible headache. Your heart pressure went up. If you're asthma, then you had an attack. Was it more difficult to breathe? Were you able to think? Now, according to the way I acted in that scene, did that lower my way of being? Was I a conscious? Did I look like a conscious person or unconscious? Very unconscious. And why? Did that action produce you karma? Karma is any negative action. So, was that the cause of the effect of now of negative actions up for you? Okay. For example, those diseases. And after that, do you consider that that wrong way of being, just thanks to that, just kept bringing you worse and worse things? What suffering did it bring you? how often has that suffering kept manifesting itself to you since that moment? Like it became a psychological song. That's something that you just kept repeating and repeating and repeating. How many times? I mean, did it become something like an everyday thing? Or were you just able to let it go in that moment, but every now and then you tell a person about it? Or is it a continuous bad feeling? Something that keeps you down, makes you feel blue? Why does it make you feel guilt? Who's guilty? That defect or you? The defect made you react that way. It made you feel that way and it made you think that way. That's why we act the wrong way and then we feel guilt. That's why that way of being has to die. We must eliminate that way of being, and the only way to eliminate it is to be consciously observing ourselves. And once we see that it tries to manifest itself, it doesn't matter when and how, but as when you just feel that that same defect is going to manifest itself, then right away you ask your Divine Mother to eliminate it, because we're not going to keep feeding that wrong way of being. Now let's see what damages did it cause in others. Distrust, fear. Let's say that you were not alone with that person, that there were other people there watching or listening. For example, imagine there was a little kid. Well, it caused that little person to feel fear, to feel anger, to feel nervous. Did that way of being make a distortion of reality? I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it made it worse. If they were pointing at you for something, and in that moment, well, and until now, you're not guilty, but thanks to that reaction, it made everything look like if you were guilty or something like that, or like if you were insane, not so nice. How did that affect the way others see you now? Does it cause other people sufferment? Did it cause other people karma? Did somebody lose their job, a friend, an object, thanks to that reaction? Thanks to what happened? Now, not identifying ourselves with that specific scene, okay? But go into your heart and remember that you're a being of light, that there is no space for hate, for jealousy, for envy inside your heart, that we must learn to forgive. In that state of that person, that loving person, that real you, then what was the correct way of being in that moment? What did you discover doing this study? What are you able to reflect on now? What are you able to see better? Now it's important for us to keep doing this kind of exercises in order for us to see the pattern in different situations, because here we saw it in one specific scene, but if we start seeing different scenes, we're going to see how we have a mechanical reaction to things. Okay? The same way we know the mechanical reactions of others. Remember that if we want to make somebody angry, we know what to tell them exactly and they fall for it. But people do it with us too and we fall for it, okay? So if we start observing ourselves, knowing ourselves, then we're not going to fall for it. We're going to see the joke, okay? So this is what it is about. We must do this repetitive in order for us to start seeing the way our own wrong ways of being make us see things the way they are not, and we can see how they play joke on us and how we fall for it. Okay? So right now we're going to go back into our heart and from everything that we comprehended, we're going to ask our Divine Mother to definitely eliminate the defects that we just understood. So we're going to make a list of them, and for each one, we're going to ask our Divine Mother to eliminate them. Now, let's, now we just finished the reflective meditation, but here what's very important for us right now is to see and think, is it enough what we just did? Okay, according to whatever you had discovered there right now, do you feel like you owe somebody else um to forgive you, to say sorry? Maybe, going to that person right now and tell them you're sorry, it's not a possibility, right? So what you can do is that today at night, before going to sleep, just go on meditation, visualize that person, concentrating your heart, and call that person and ask that person to come, and imagine how that person comes to you, okay? And explain to them what you learned from today, okay? Your reflection, okay? I want you to forgive me because I understand now that I did wrong. I understand that I should have done this, and I want you to forgive me, okay? And just hug that person and say, thank you. Thank you for teaching me this. Thank you for being there. Okay, so that's one thing that we could do tonight. Another thing that we can do is make a fund transfer. Okay, that's to take our dharma and pay our karma, because obviously those wrong ways of being made a damage, and that damage has to be repaired. Okay, so we do this transfer with, or you have the video before if you looked for it. There we have how to do that transfer, okay? And we could pay our wrong ways of being. Also, from doing this practice, we also get dharma, okay? So it's really good for you to do this, okay? So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have learned a lot, and remember, this is a practice that we must do not only today, but many times, okay? Because we really need to know ourselves deeply and see the things that we have to change. Thank you for watching.